Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Dev Digest. Thank you all for joining us today. My name is Sarah Flanagan. I am your community manager for H1Z1, and I am joined by some familiar and maybe not so familiar faces, so I want to let these gentlemen introduce themselves to you. Go ahead.
Mike Madden, senior game designer.
Troy Schramm, level designer for H1Z1.
Very cool. And as I'm sure many of you are tuning in for today, this Dev Digest stream is going to be all about Z1 for PC, the process of remastering it. These two gentlemen have been very instrumental in helping to do that in terms of like a mechanics perspective, which Mike's going to be talking about today. He's going to go over some of the sound changes, the sprayability changes we've talked about, jumping, animations, that sort of thing. And Troy is going to walk us through what it looks like to redesign a building, go through the flow, the kind of from the early stages all the way to what it looks like on Z1 to give you guys a sneak peek at the meat behind game dev. So, we want to kick things right off with
Can
you,
jump
Mike.
right into
Are
it?
you ready?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Cardo is home this morning, but I'm sure he's watching from the stream. He also did help provide some of the videos we're going to be looking at today. So there we go. All right. I hope you guys can hear us okay. Someone asked for us a little bit louder.
Check 1, 2.
Check 1, 2.
Check.
There we go. All right, Mike, tell us what we are going to be looking at first here, or listening to first, rather.
Listening to. One of the things that people have been asking for, and we really wanted to bring back ourselves, is the original headshot and helmet break sounds.
Do you want to see if you can full screen that video? Well, we're listening, not looking, so
Yeah.
this one's not that important to full screen.
Here you go.
Oh, so squishy.
Okay.
I love that.
So we've got a couple of others. Again, really trying to get that sound. These are the original files from that time. Now, we're not reverting our audio engine. Oh, I said the word.
All right, here
But we are using those original files, and I think they're really, really gonna be good to get back in the game. So I'll play that one again.
Yeah, that one's a good one for sure.
It's so satisfying.
It is.
It's like it's disintegrating.
Then, we've got the last one here. This is the makeshift break.
That nice little tear sound again.
A lot more detail in there that you'll pick up.
Yes.
But yeah, that fabric tear is really good. Let's play that one more time.
Yes. Yes.
That's
that nice
good.
little riff.
So yeah, all the hit sounds are coming back, and hopefully that's something people can be excited about, and I know we're excited to bring that back.
Yes.
So we do have some other things.
Yeah, here. Hold on. I'll switch back to the camera
Right
while
on.
you
Yeah,
go to those videos. I see a lot of people in the chat giving some Craigasms and some PogChamps for those old
Good.
sounds.
Good.
Very, very much so. The very satisfying, the crunch sound, all of that sort of thing.
Absolutely.
Next up, what are we going to take a look at right here?
So we did do some changes to the guns. What we're trying to do is alleviate some of the demand on just precision, and giving players that may be new, or when you get surprised coming around a corner and you may not have that shotgun ready, that you can get a couple of fires off before the gun gets out of hand with the recoil. So we loosened up the recoil a little bit.
I want to pause 1 second to cover something that in
Sure.
the chat from the audio stuff. So those are the exact audio sounds for those sounds
The
from back
exact
in the day.
files, not recreated, not
Exactly.
trying to match. Those are
Yes,
the
they may
exact
sound a little
files.
different because we're playing them through a computer to you on the
Correct.
stream, but when you hear them in the game, they are the same sounds. And I think you mentioned this, but one of the reasons that we are able to do this with the hit markers and body shots versus with the weapons is because the weapon sounds changed, so we could bring in that directional audio.
Correct.
And these sounds are not based on directional audio,
Correct.
so we're able to bring
These
those
are
old
feedback
sounds
sounds
back. Yes.
played to you versus trying to do the positional sound that gunshots in the environment have to play through.
All right. Sorry,
So
continue on
no
here.
worries. So
Yeah.
what we're doing is we're trying to relax a little bit on the recoil before it just absolutely sprays to the moon. So you're going to see a better 4 to 5 shots in the beginning before it then takes off, and this is a demonstration.
Okay.
The way we've set this up is you're going to see what it is currently, and then you'll see the character change to the gorilla mask, and that's what we're changing it to. So
Gotcha.
I'm
So
gonna go ahead
first
and
up we
play
have
this.
AR, and then I think we have AK single fire, old and new,
then-
and then AK full auto, old and
Correct.
new, to show you
Correct.
the sprayability changes.
Absolutely.
Kicking up.
There you go.
Here, we'll see if we can full screen this.
By the way, this was provided by Cardo, so that's his hello to everybody. So what you see is it early on starts to really jump left and right and climb. And then what you'll see here is it stays tighter earlier on.
So that precision right within those first 4 shots.
That's right. And then it starts to take off again on you and will climb up. So we think this helps newer players coming in and just maybe some of the less skilled. We know we've got those hardened soldiers out there that have can shoot a BB off of a rock at 1,000 meters. So we're trying to equal it out a little bit. Where skill is still, top and will win fights majority of the time. Sometimes a new player needs a little luck to help them out. So here's the AK.
And like we've mentioned before, with all of this stuff, all of this is going to hit the test server before it hits
Absolutely.
live. We'll have surveys, we'll have all this sort of thing. So we can talk about your feedback on that and whether or not these changes make it out.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We're not going to force these through if there's a resounding, community feedback of saying that it's not for the better. And we'll measure that against data and make decisions. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting these out. I think this will help. So that's it for that one.
We'll wave away. There we go.
Bye-bye.
All right. So again, the things we've covered so far, we talked about those sound changes. We let you guys listen to the headshot helmet break sounds as well as the makeshift and armor tears.
Yep.
Those were some adjustments we just saw for the sprayability. Like I mentioned, all of this will be on the test server as part of that Z1 build before it goes to live. So you guys can try it out, let us know your feedback, all that sort of good stuff.
Yep.
All right, so what is the last thing we're going to be looking at here for you guys?
The last thing, and this is kind of the first step for us, we really want to get back to the mechanics of movement to be snappier, to be more responsive, that when you hit the button, it performs the action. And not have those delays that exist, and shortening some animations in that process. So the first of that step is jump.
All right.
And I'm going to show you the old jump, and I know everyone's familiar with this.
All right, let me know when I can switch on over to you.
Go ahead and switch on over.
All right, this is jump as it is right now.
Yeah, we did this in the live environment, just to kind of show this is what everybody's dealing with. As you see, it has that build up.
It's very, very like,
it
and
is.
leap.
Yes. There's a lot of thought to it happening with the player there. And then close this one down.
Sure. I'll switch on back so you can show us what the new one is.
And here is the
New hotness.
The new hotness. It's much quicker.
Boop.
You really do get to just bounce more with that jump. When you hit the button, it jumps, and eliminating that lag between was real important and a good first step.
Very springy, very responsive, very
Absolutely.
good feeling
Bouncy,
for
bouncy.
bringing that
Yes.
arcade feeling back.
Yes.
All right, bouncy.
So
Lots of pogs in the chat for that one.
good.
Loving that one. All right, and then we kind of want to show you how that looks then as it relates to when you come to a corner and then try to shoot around a corner as well. Come to a corner, jump around.
And there's another component to this that we've done. So the way it exists now on live is when you move the camera, the momentum of your jump is fixed to that camera position. So being able to jump through a window and swing the camera and do that strafe shotgun shot to the guy standing in the kitchen or whatever the case may be, this will allow that to come back.
Yeah.
So this is...
People are super pumped for this. Let me
Good.
know when we're ready to.
Yep.
So this is shooting and jumping?
This is the old.
Okay, this is old we're looking at first.
And yeah, you'll
For
see as the
reference.
player turns, the character almost comes around the corner.
Oop, whiffed it.
Whiffed.
Exactly.
Yes. And we did have one where he did it clean, but
Yeah.
I wanted to show, not always perfect.
Exactly.
But yeah, the character has to follow the camera movement.
Yep, and
in the
your
way it
all of
exists
your
now.
momentum just kind of stops the second that
100%.
you swing it.
100%.
Exiting the match. All right.
This this is the new hotness on this,
There you go.
and really pay attention. The character maintains that direction of the jump, even though the camera has now shifted.
Yeah.
There
So
you go.
there you go. And that's a real big one for us. We think that's going to allow some of those outplay mechanics to start coming back in, drop shots.
Let's show that one off one more time for people.
Absolutely.
All right. Here we go. Show this one off, coming around that corner. Pow.
maintains that momentum direction.
Right
and,
there.
Able to land that shot.
A little surprise
So
there
much more
around the
fluid.
corner.
That's right.
All right. Okay, and then you got one last thing to share with us.
The last one that I kind of sprung on you was we're also removing.
Oh, wait, no. We have to
Oh.
show the corner jumps first.
This is the
Yes,
same
and then
thing
you can say
without the
that.
shooting.
Okay, gotcha. So this one just kind of displays that.
It really highlights the jumping part of
Yeah.
this. And you'll see that character kind of take that turn around the corner.
Mhm. So this is what it looks like if you're not. So wait, this is old right now
Yes, this
that
is
we're
old.
looking at. Yep.
This is old.
Run.
And he kind of turns the corner, which only puts you in position for the enemy more than you getting that surprise shot. So we're hoping that gets alleviated.
All right, so that's the old.
Yep.
And then we'll take a look.
Switch
Right
it over
quick at-
to
Yeah, there you
the
go.
new.
Mm-hmm. Here we go. Whoop! Look at how much further he
Yeah.
stayed out in that jump.
Yeah. So it's much better. The feeling is great. You don't feel like you're stuck in molasses or waiting for an animation or something to play for you to have your control back. So yeah, I'm really excited to get this out there and watch with these guys who are extremely skilled and figure things out. Now, with this, we do have it so that there is still a little bit of air control. So when you change direction, if you want to keep going as maximum, you got to switch. There is some skill that's been added to this. There are other games. To be honest, it's a lot like Counter-Strike, and that's something that we wanted to capture. So there is a skill level to step this up even further that players will discover the more they play with it.
And then one other thing that some people were calling out was the animation specifically as it relates to sprinting. So if you wanted to cover that one real quick.
Yeah, right now the sprint that you're seeing is a little bit more exaggerated and a little bit more push forward. At range, when you're watching a player, it was very difficult to tell if they were just running or sprinting. And we wanted to pronounce that a little bit more, so it was more of you could see exactly what state a player is in at range 200 meters or so. So it's a little bit more information to a player, and pronounces that angle a little bit.
Cool.
And we are still very much fans of continuing to work on movement and keep getting this to be more of an action-focused, quick response game.
So in terms of the ones that are, and then we'll talk. You wanted to say what's going away, what's being removed.
We are removing crouch fatigue.
Yes. There you
So
go.
that'll be another little one that we haven't really talked about
Yes. So things that we just covered with Mike, we went over some of those sounds that were changing. We let you listen to those. We went over some of those sprayability changes for the AR and the AK. We took a look at the new jump, keeping that momentum there.
Yep.
In terms of the sprinting and animations, we're still working towards those. We couldn't quite show them off for you today. They
Yep.
won't be part of the initial Z1 launch with
right.
test next week and launch on the 27th, but
Yep.
we're still working to bring those to you.
Yep.
And then extra bonus surprise, crouch fatigue is going away.
That's right.
All right. Are you ready, Mr. Troy?
Always ready.
All right, here we
Let's do
go.
this.
So what are you going to be sharing with us?
Well, I'm going to walk us through a little bit of our process. Some of you in chat and your old school H1Z1 players may recognize the apartment buildings that were throughout H1. Now, these apartment buildings were designed for the Just Survive game. So as you can see, they have just a whole bunch of open areas to shoot from. You can't really approach this building without getting shot out of somewhere. The other thing, the interiors weren't really designed for just good flow. If you just want to go in and loot up and get out, this building wasn't designed for
Here,
that.
sorry.
Remember?
Just asking to hear you better. There we go.
Hello? How about now?
There we go.
Hi, everybody. So yes, this building wasn't designed with a good flow to like get in, loot up, get out. And with that in mind, we had an opportunity to go in and
What program are you in right now
this is Maya.
for people who are unfamiliar with rendering or anything
Yeah.
like that or interested in
Yeah,
getting
this is
involved?
Maya. This is where art assets get created and get handed off to artists. So from the design side, we wanted to go in and create a much more open building. The overhead shot will actually show this. You can see individual rooms from overhead on this building, and the individual rooms in this side. This like a little bathroom. You know, this is a big living room area. And we basically limited how much visibility you had outside of the building, aside from the stairwells. We wanted distinct patios that had some cover, but not completely open to be shot at. So if you did have an opportunity to take a shot from a balcony, you'd be able to do that with just half height cover, so you can pop out, take your shots, and then be able to pop back in and reload. And we just wanted the building to feel a lot more just not cylindrical or symmetrical, but more just it flows. It just I'll show this later on, but the design going into this was we wanted you to be able to just keep moving through the building nonstop. And so this is what design handed off to the artists. We said, hey, this is roughly the area, the shape we want this to be. Make it pretty. And so what will end up happening is an artist will give us the building back, and the building looks pretty.
There you go. It's got all those textures on it.
Yeah, take me a second to adjust to the other controls in the other program.
And what program are we using now?
This is our proprietary design editor.
Yeah.
Oh,
fancy.
Yeah.
Shh, don't tell anyone.
Big words.
And so this is what the building we got back from art, and it has all the same layout as everything else, except now it has some blue paneling and everything. It's not the gray mess that it was when I did it. And so at this point, we get the actual shell of the building, and I can actually pull this apart for you. So this is the exterior of the building, and this is the interior of the building. And kind of give you a sense of the space of the layout from room to room. Now, all these little yellow things that you see, all the yellow and red.
Whoa, did you just move the walls away?
Yeah, I just moved the exterior of the building away.
Kafloop!
Kafloop.
That's pretty great.
So inside, we then start placing all of our props and everything, and we want to make sure that, like, as you come in through the door, you can go through. These are where potential loot spawns are. These aren't guaranteed spawns, but this is how we set up the game for you, so you get to see behind the curtain a little bit. Don't tell the wizard. You can see where backpack spawns and health pack spawns and weapon spawns and all that fun stuff. They're pretty self-explanatory when you look at them. Those are potential gun spawns. And we wanted to just come through and make sure that the flow going through the entire building just felt right. And so we ended up with much larger spaces that just you're able to run through these so much easier. And it plays so much better.
So people know that's not how much loot is actually in the building. That
Correct.
is a random chance of every time that something shows up in this building, it may be in one of those spots.
Yeah, each building will have a associated weight with it.
And are those actually lammies in there, or are those spots for makeshifts?
No, those are spots that will spawn cloth armor, that will spawn bandages, that'll spawn not cloth armor, pants, shirts, all your clothing items, bandages. It has a chance on console, not that Z1 is going to console, but the same concept applies. Those will spawn the makeshift armors. Now, as we get this all ready to go, we then load it into game.
No, not bandages on the ground, folks.
Not bandages.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to see it in game?
Yeah, I
We
think
can do
everyone wants to
that.
see it in game.
We can do this.
We're taking a look. Where are we now?
Sorcery.
Whoa!
Ba-ba-ba-ba.
So what are we looking at? What environment are we on right now?
We are in Z1.
Voila.
We're in Pleasant Valley. And this is essentially what the building looks like in game. Now, one of the things we could do is let me come in here, and I wanted to
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Before you do any of that,
Yeah.
don't do that again.
All right.
'Kay.
So one of the things we talked about was flow. So you can come in and just loot up, keep moving, go through the other side, loot up, and you're out the door. If you happen to land on the roof, I can run up there real quick.
You're going to get a lot of requests after this for you doing some flyovers over the map and talking about other stuff. So if there's any other buildings you have in mind that you want to call out or take a look at or share with people.
So if you happen to like come down, you land on the roof, you say, hey, there's people in PV. I want to land on this roof. I want to go down, loot up. Come down real quick.
Oh, and none of the stuff that Mike showed off earlier, I believe, is in this build quite yet, right?
Correct.
Right.
So
This
you
is
could-
just a way to view the world.
Yes.
Yes.
This is the gas isn't on or anything. I'm just running this locally on my own.
Oh, I love
personal
that
server.
wallpaper.
Yes, wallpaper
I
is
love.
awesome.
I just love how much character
You notice
Z1
your
has.
camera doesn't clip on a bunch of stuff as you're running through. It flows so much nicer as you're coming through this. You can easily jump out. One of the things we use standardized metrics. So anytime we reworked a building, we wanted to make sure that the doorways were the same height all the way through. Your windows, same height all the way through. You can jump through them very easily. You know, come back in, jump through them easily.
Oh,
Yeah.
you whiffed a little.
I whiffed a little, but
Whiffed
you know,
a little.
that's
Not
user
so
error.
easy.
That has nothing to do with the art.
Yes.
So the big thing was we wanted to make sure you didn't have any dead ends. We wanted to make sure you had emergent gameplay. So the building is assailable. There's a couple places to shoot from, but if you know somebody's holed up in here, we have a couple window blockers, so you know that you can only get shot at from maybe here and here if they're on this floor, or only there if they're on that floor. So you have a safe vector of approach to come. Somebody's holed up here. It's the final gas ring. You want to make sure you get them, and you need to push. You can get into the building if you need to push.
Cool beans.
And it isn't just 4 people just spraying fire over the edge. So this is the most extreme case where we've reworked a building. This isn't something we've done. We've tried to maintain a lot of our original buildings. We may up the textures on them, make them look a little bit nicer, but this is the one of the few cases where we fully redesigned a building from scratch, and this is the minority.
Yes.
Some of you are recognizing Romero's over there.
Yeah.
Romero stayed mostly the same. We did some minor updates to it as far as the overall visuals of them. So
Cool.
yeah.
Do you need me to go back to the camera while you get
let,
some things?
Let me do some wizardry.
He's going to do some wizardry right quick, see if he can fly us around to some spots around Z1. Do you have anything in particular that you would want to show off or talk about?
We can talk about this area in particular.
Sure.
So one of the things we wanted to do is maintain.
You want me to cut to you now?
Yeah, we can
All
come
right.
back. We wanted to maintain the same layout. So even though we reworked a building, these buildings are in the same layout as the Z1 buildings. These are the same. The old apartment building that I showed you at the beginning, it was in that spot and this spot, and with this garage was reworked a little bit to just be overall a lot more fluid, just moving through it, and it just feels a lot better. The horseshoe.
The U, as people know it. Yes.
People know it, love it. We maintained the same layout. The only thing we did in the back end was we put in some nice walls so that way you didn't have a bunch of grainy exposed textures and stuff like that. We want the game to just look better, and we give you some stairwells that have some partial cover and stuff. So if you do get into a gunfight, the game plays better. You have places that you can take cover, return fire, bandage up. Just maintain that sense of gameplay. And if we really want to go down Main Street.
Yeah, let's take a roll down the street, the main street of PV a little bit here.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at our friendly neighborhood clock tower.
The clock tower.
There we
Everybody
go.
loves the clock tower.
Everyone loves the clock
Back
tower.
here in the alleyways, we maintained a lot of this.
Yeah.
Through here, we wanted to make sure that if things were blocked off before, that we did the same thing. AK alley? Anybody?
Yeah.
It's the same. It's just prettier now. Yeah. So we can make some adjustments, and based on feedback, we're always tweaking things. We're like, we need a little bit more space so you can drive through here. So we'll grab objects. And
Your fist. No, I'm just
oh
kidding.
no. So we can maintain objects like that, or move objects, depending on how we feel. The residential areas are, the same layout. We just made some adjustments to interiors. So in this case, mind if I do some wizardry?
Yeah, hold on. Let me switch back to the camera while you do that right quick. Yes, the Box of Destiny is also back. We'll see if we can sneak on over to that at the very end here to close out this stream.
So
George is hiding. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, there you go.
So the interior of the building may have changed. So the exterior looks the same in most cases, and the only thing we really did was we might move some furniture around. We might knock down a wall that wasn't there before, so that way you can cut through a little bit faster to get to areas. We want to make sure you had the ability to get over walls if you were landed and you noticed that there was ammo and you messed up your parachute in, like I do a lot, and you need to get over a wall. You can always get over walls if you need to. Just the general improvements to gameplay and maintaining spaces, cover over fire engagement zones and that kind of stuff.
Someone asked, is there the secret underground basement still in the PvPD?
Maybe.
Secret.
Maybe. Is it?
Maybe.
Is
Do
it?
we want to show it on?
Oh, I don't know. I'm taking requests from chat now.
Okay.
I mean, sorry if you don't mind. Here, I'll switch back over. We're going to do some wizardry. We're going to show off some spots around the map. As we've mentioned, Z1 is coming to the live servers on June 27th. You'll be able to get your hands on it on test servers next week. We'll give you more details on that so that you can try out both the map as well as some of the changes that Mike talked about earlier, those sounds, that sprayability stuff, the new jump, all coupled in there as well. All right. This isn't wizardry. You're just driving.
Well, I spawned a vehicle.
Oh, okay.
There was some wizardry involved.
All right, here we go. We'll go back on over to you.
Got the beard for it.
Oh, look at this.
There you go.
The wizard
PvPD.
beard? Okay.
There you go.
Yeah. So we try to keep it mostly the same, but we're still making adjustments to, again, the flow. We want you to make sure that we try to minimize this kind of instance where you hang a corner and you have to backtrack. We don't want that. We try to minimize that as much as we could, but we also want to maintain that sense of nostalgia. Then we want to keep the layout as much as we can the same. Now, people were asking for a basement. Is there a basement down here?
I don't know.
There's a basement. Oh, there's jail cells. There's all kinds of stuff in here. Showers. Hit the showers.
Okay.
Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Doo doo.
Where we go? Oh, we sneaking out?
Yeah, we sneak out. That was it. That was the basement.
Jailbreak.
All right.
Jailbreak.
Perfect. All right. Where do you want to go next, Troy?
Where does chat want to go?
Actually, I want to ask you, what was your favorite spot to work on? Well, maybe we show that off.
Contrary to popular belief, I'm going to do some wizardry real quick.
All right. There we go. Dam. People are asking for the dam.
People want to see the dam?
Death cabins.
We can go to the dam real
We'll
quick.
end on the box, as I mentioned. Well, the box will close us out. No, but what were you going to say? What was your favorite to work on?
There was a minor POI that we added that it was in the middle of nowhere, and basically if you happen to land in that area or there was a gas ring that ended in that area, there was no cover, there was no lootability or anything in that area to really have any kind of engagement or territory to fight over. And so I got to design a little truck stop, and so I was really happy with the way it turned out. Let me look at my map.
Oh, people are asking about Humperdinck as well. Humperdinck Gorge.
Humperdinck, is that like
Humperdinck Gorge. Chat, tell us where that is specifically, because I can think of yeah. Here, we'll show the other thing.
Down in
Yeah,
here?
there,
Yeah.
right in the middle.
Yeah.
There we go.
So first things first, the dam.
Mhm.
People want to see the dam.
Dam's in the middle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're starting to do the flyover. If
There
you
we
want
go.
to bring the camera back over.
Sure. Here we go.
Yeah.
Take a look at the dam.
This is the new remastered
That looks
dam.
damn good.
That's a goddamn.
Oh.
That's Beavis and Butthead trivia for you people.
Mhm.
I know most of you are too young to remember, but Mike remembers. Yeah.
Thanks for pointing that out.
Hey, I'm with you, buddy. We wanted to add a little bit of accessibility here, so like if you happen to be down in the middle and somebody shoots your car and your car blows up and you still need to get
You can
back
still
up,
climb
you
up.
can still get back up.
Yep.
So,
good.
improvements like that are we're not bringing the map back as a one-to-one. We're always looking for opportunities to improve gameplay. And so a lot of that was standardizing all our entrances and exits. So even in buildings that we didn't remaster the entire building, we made sure that the doorway was the correct size, because that's a big thing for us. You know, windows. We've got to be able, if it's an open window and there's no cross hatches or anything through it, you should be able to jump through that window. We standardized all that. So this is the dam. Yes, the dam.
Looks good.
Perfect. How about we do Humperdinck and then we end on
Humperdinck.
the box. We'll fly on over that way if you want to just do that. Yeah, to the west.
How to get my bearings.
That's all good.
Oh, there's some murder cabins.
In terms of getting this to you guys on the test server, we will look at seeing if we can remove some of or loosen some of those ping restrictions on connecting to the test servers that we do have, so that people from more around the world can help join and test this out. Oh, a little bridge.
Nice.
Flying on through.
Yeah, we added some new rocks through here, so you actually have, you get down in here, you can take cover behind some of these rocks. They're much easier to climb, so if you get down in here, you can actually run your way back up out of it. Overall, it feels so much better. And when you're driving through here, it looks nicer too, in my opinion. What do you think, chat? Does it look nicer?
Well, we'll see what chat says.
We'll see.
There we go. I think we're on a little bit of a delay. All right, I'm going to go ahead and kick us back to the camera right quick. Well, do you just want to head on over to the box
We
to show
can
that
go to
off?
the box.
All right.
Yeah.
I believe it's all the way in one to be corner
It's in
there.
the northwest corner.
All right.
So we do another flyover.
Yes, they say yes. They say yes. Looks nice. They're all about it. Troy, they're
Excellent.
all about it. A lot of passion, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears went into it. Because it wasn't just about bringing back Z1, it was about remastering the map as it relates to Battle Royale, since it was built as a survival game first. So, like you've mentioned a lot of times, cover height, adjusting things, making sure buildings flow well so there's no dead ends.
Correct.
Just improving the shooter experience overall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not just that, like the mechanics of the gun, the way the vehicles drive, we've smoothed out a lot of terrain. We didn't get rid of like hills and stuff like that, but like we had a lot of like, jagged edges and stuff like that, stuff that you can get your car stuck on. Smooth that kind of stuff out so that way gameplay feels a lot better, just moving around in general.
For those of you in the chat asking about EU servers, yes, unfortunately those are still under maintenance due to a hardware failure that happened yesterday. We're still working as hard as we can to bring those back to you. And then we'll end here. Oh no, you hurt yourself falling.
No.
Oh,
I hurt myself a lot.
interesting.
I walk into things.
This is interesting. All right, the box has.
Bum.
All right, are we ready?
I'm ready.
Perfect. The box may look a little different,
A little
but
different. We took this opportunity
here we go.
to
here it's on your screen now. There
create
you
a
go.
much bigger, wider box,
Mm-hmm.
creating a sense of that H1Z1. You're coming into a battle royale. We still have our vehicle pathing through here. We still have the gravestones, your couch if you want to kick back.
I remember one of my favorite bugs from early on. Well, I don't know how early on in Z1 was. There was a gravestone that you could punch in the box and it would make an explosion sound.
That's amazing.
That was probably my favorite bug of all time that has ever happened. I don't think it happens anymore, but that one's my favorite. Yes. All right. I think we need to show off the toilet and maybe the pit. So here we'll take a look at the toilet back on top. There we go.
It's up
Yes. The toilet's up there. It still has that deer steak inside of it. Yes. So the box is back. It got a little bit of a texture revamp and oh no, stuck on the hill.
Oh jeez. Oh gee whiz.
You climbed up the wrong way, didn't you?
I did the things.
This is why we're going to have you guys help us test it so you
Yeah.
can find spots like this where
Yeah.
you get stuck and say, "Hey, I got stuck on this hill."
Well, I wasn't stuck. I was just inconvenienced.
There you go.
Do.
Perfect.
Yeah, the leaderboards are still in here, so you'll be able to show off. If you
No,
wanna
folks,
find
we
them.
don't have any plans for the old weapon models at this time.
Yes.
All right. There's that deer steak right there.
Yeah. Interesting.
You want to go ahead and jump in the pit and close us out?
All right.
All right.
Let's get in the pit.
Perfect.
Yay! Yeah, it feels so much better running through the world. We've done several play tests and just it feels good.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
All
In
right.
the pit.
Jump on in.
Dead.
Sploosh.
No,
We're in the pit.
we're in the pit.
All right.
Stuck in the
Perfect.
pit.
We're back in the pit. Okay. That's the moral of today's story. We're coming back to the pit. We're bringing the pit back to you. As we've mentioned, Z1 is coming to the live servers on June 27th. It will be on the test servers starting next week. We'll give you more details all about that as we get closer to that in terms of what you'll be testing out, how you can help give us feedback on stuff like that. But we're really excited for you to get your hands on it.
Yes, we are.
Thank you, gentlemen, both for joining me today for
Thanks
this
for having
Dev
me.
Digest. Hopefully you guys got an inside look on what it's like to remaster a map back from the beginning. And we hope you all have a great day, and we'll see you in the pit very soon.
Have a good one.